Well, after last week's Supreme Court decision overturning Biden's vaccine or testing requirements for large employees, Starbucks retracted its own vaccine mandate this week for U.S. employees. And this leads many to wonder how many other companies will follow suit by either discarding or softening their vaccine mandates. For more now, we're joined live on the KCBS Ring Central Newsline by Paul Seegert, managing partner at the health benefits consulting firm KCBCS Advisors. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. So what do you think about this? I mean, was there or has there been a lot of opposition to the federal mandate?
Well, ironically, before the mandate was announced, or the OSHA route anyway, 85% of employers, when polled, and there were numerous polls that supported this, said they would have a mandate in by the end of 21, and then the Great Resignation got greater, and I think some employers saw that it affected morale, and they had staffing challenges and so on, and so and they put it on hold too because of confusion around what would the OSHA rule look like. So a lot of them got into wait and see mode, and now, as recently as a couple of weeks back, the Society for Human Resource Management did a survey, and it's looking like 75% will not put in a mandate. So it really reversed things and kind of had an unintended consequence there. But I think we have 18% of employers that ended the year with a mandate, and only another 7% who say they will still put one in.
Wow, low numbers.
Yeah, it's changed incredibly. And when they're asked why that is, 73% or so said they were waiting to see what happened with the legal challenges, and of course we've seen that play out. A good percentage, 65, also said that they were concerned about employee morale. 59% expressed they thought it would be a record-keeping challenge and just add administrative load that they didn't maybe have good bandwidth for, and then employee retention. And big issue as well.
Yeah, and like you just said, you just touched on it, employee retention. I can't imagine, as an employer, if you're already short-staffed and, everything that surrounds that, like you said, the Great Resignation, that has to be playing a part in it too.
Yeah, it's a big factor. You have companies that tell us, and there's a lot of data that supports this as well, not just our own anecdotal experience, but it's the toughest hiring environment that they've seen in 15 years. And it's one thing if you are maybe an international airline with 67,000 employees, or the Mayo Clinic with 70,000 employees, and you end up firing 1% of your workforce. Perhaps you can absorb that a little more easily than some of the employers that were going to also be affected by this, that have 150 employees and can't afford to lose 3 or 4 really key people that might feel strongly about this.
Yeah. Paul, do you know specifically about the Starbucks workers? I mean, was there a lot of opposition to the mandate among Starbucks workers? I mean, it's a huge company.
It is a huge company, but it's a retail employer. They already historically deal with really high turnover. So hiring is a challenge in that industry at large. You might have, depending on the employer, between 50 and 100% turnover a year. And you're not a real high-wage employer, so this Great Resignation has had a serious impact.
Yeah.
And that's something they have to calculate into their decision.
So far there are a few companies like Carhartt that have promised to keep the mandates in place. Are there patterns that you've seen in the kinds of businesses that announce that they'll be sticking with their own mandates?
Well, it does tend to be, of the 18% that ended the year and had a mandate, they were typically higher income, or their pay rate was higher, or they were much larger employers. Not that there aren't some large employers like Starbucks that have said they will not. GE, same thing there. But the trend has been that it was larger employers, or if they were smaller, they tended to be professional services, higher income type employers, law firms, that kind of thing.
Yeah, interesting. All right, Paul, thanks so much for joining us this morning. That was Paul Seegert. He's a managing partner at the health benefits consulting firm, KCBCS Advisors.